Hello!
Hello AOS fans!
It's the Agents of Sigmar.
And in this video we have a quick wash up of what we thought of Overdrive.
Overdrive.
From Mantic Games.
Yeah, we've just played our game of Overdrive and we wanted to do a quick wash up video, so in case you didn't want to watch the whole game, you can come here and at least find out what we had to say about it. Might be spoilers about that game here, so if you are keen to watch that, you might want to go do that first, just in case. So Robin, what did you think of Overdrive?
I think it's really fun. It's really fun. I would never play it competitively. I don't know if it's really designed to be.
I don't think any of us would play either of us would play anything competitively.
No, but as a alternative to Blitz Bowl, maybe.
Yep.
I think it's definitely in the Blitz Bowl camp or mould, rather than even Underworld.
Yeah, because there's very little. I mean, to go through some of the positives of it, there's no real pre-game. No, you can get the models, but then you just do a draft when you're picking your team, so you just put your models out. And
I don't know if the league adds stuff for that. There is a league you can play, and you can play various different game modes within the league as well. I think the league enables you to kind of get credits. I think you said that at the beginning of the other video, but then you can buy various coaching abilities and extra dice and re-rolls and stuff, and sponsorship deals that give you money. So there's stuff there that can maybe mean you have to think a little bit more before the game, and maybe if you've got multiple, because we've literally only got the 6 models to fight with, then maybe there's decisions to be made based on who else your opponent's bringing, that kind of thing, which we haven't touched on at all. But
if you just want to do a pick up and play game without any of the tournament stuff, it's very quick, very easy to set up, and it's very quick and easy to play because it's a WeGo system, so you're always involved. There's always something to think about. I do like the fact that the dice rolls, you only ever roll 3 dice. They might get modified up and down depending on various factors, but it's only the dice rolls that modify. If you need a 3+ or whatever, it's always a 3+ or it's always a 4+, depending on the skill.
Yes, not so much but it's easy to work out how many dice you need to roll, because pretty much it's like it's a -1 for this, and there's very little things that add dice. It's pretty much only charging and some overdrive abilities. And pretty much nothing else adds dice, just the odd thing that takes them away. But the actual dice rolls you need are always the same. Is really nice. You always know if I very quickly, if I'm dodging with this guy, it's always a 4. If I'm attacking with this guy, it's always a 3. Or whatever. I really like that about it.
I really like the scale. I think we've mentioned that in the previous game. The scale's quite nice. It's a bit bigger than 28mm. It's maybe 50 to 60mm scale instead, which gives you...
It just looks good on the board.
Yeah, it gives you a bit more space. And the hexes are quite small, but you cover 3 of them, which gives you an added level of complexity, I think. And there's a plus and minus to that one, I think.
Yeah, for the not spatially aware, which is me, I find it quite hard. The amount of times you actually move 5 there. Because
1, 2, 3, that's 6.
Because I twisted, it wasn't quite that bad, but where I twisted, or when I shouldn't have done, or I just kind of went, like through there. And I find
1, 2, 3.
Whether it would be better for slightly bigger hexes, I don't know. But I do find it difficult to visualise, but I do have issues with that.
I do think, not necessarily negative, but a puzzling choice of game design for me is the way the hexes are laid out, because it means that your fighter, or your players, whatever the term might be, they're always facing off a centre. They're facing this way or that way.
I want to set the board offset like that.
Yeah,
so it's
just so you're actually looking at each other.
Sort of.
And that can be really off-putting, that you're sitting there and you're like, I want to face that person there, but do I want to be that way? No, I want to be that. I don't know. So that was a little off-putting. And another small off-putting factor is because you've got these 3 hexes, the front angle is like these 5 hexes here, the back one is these 4, but then you have some odd situations, it's like when you're pushing away.
I suspect it does say in here, there are examples.
There are some examples,
We probably should have paid more attention, but it kind of worked how we did it. If we played it wrong, then it still worked.
But we played it wrong for both of us, really. I don't think any of us got an advantage out of that, so it's not unnecessary.
Okay, I think you do need to do what I've done and paint on the arcs. That actually made it much easier to see, because we didn't have that last time. I hadn't got around to doing that last time.
It was quite confusing sometimes.
And it got harder to see. That actually makes it much easier to see. I would recommend doing that.
Also, depending on which way you stick the model on the base, because if you don't stick it on right, it can then look like it's facing the wrong way.
The spider I didn't. The others were okay, but the spider I didn't get right.
A couple of slight negative points I have for this. The board is great. It's nice and easy to see where your rushes are, what your score is. I don't see the point in the overdrive counter. that feels utterly pointless to me, because you've got this little thing here where you move it from the green to the red.
Well, we never used it.
We never used it. It just seems like a pointless little addition. It might as well just be a token that you flip over.
Yeah, not only is it a pointless addition, it actually is not very fit for purpose either.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, because as soon as you go like that,
you can very easily knock
it's
that.
like, well, okay, well now I don't know where it was.
And we never really relied on it anyway.
No, well the other thing is, because it's not like Underworld, say, where you've got masses of card interactions, there are interruptions to the sequence, all sorts of things going on, you can forget what activation you're in.
Yeah.
Here, I think
it's pretty
probably
simple.
fine now when we look at the video we didn't, but here I think you always know which fighters you've activated, and you know when you've done your overdrive within the rush, so you never have to actually worry about remembering when you've done your overdrive, because you know.
Another slight weird thing for me was the fact that if you have someone knocked out in the previous round and then you get someone else knocked out in the current, rush, I should say, at the beginning of your next rush, this person moves to like the ready to come out stage, and then someone else gets knocked out and they can't come out that rush again. But it's like, what happens if you have two people knocked out from the previous rush? Well, they both come back on. But this whole bit here seems a bit superfluous to me. You might as well just say when you're knocked out, you just take them off the board, and at the beginning of the next rush, you just place them back on the board. You can actually make the board shorter then. Yeah, you could.
In fact, pretty much, you don't need, because this bit, if we say this bit is irrelevant, you don't need any of that. I mean, you could just move the score.
You can move the scores in a bit. You can make this more of a square board.
Yeah.
Again, maybe we're missing something, and it'd be interesting to see if somebody says, "Oh, well, actually, you can't do a certain thing." But from everything we can see in the rules, that doesn't stop you. So
there could be. We haven't only played one variant, so it could be in the other variants. But even then, even in the other variants, it feels a bit
over-engineered or just a bit needlessly complex. The only other sort of negative point I have to say, in fact, there's two, so I apologise for the slightly negative sort of thing.
Negative.
One of them is more so than the other. The first one, the slightly more problematic one, is that some of the rules are a little bit grey in some areas. There's a mention of an opposed role, but there's no definition in the rules of what is an opposed role.
I think I'll allow that. I think that's just one of those things that's probably been clarified in FAQ or on...
Possibly.
We could probably find that if we really wanted to. And we came up with a decent workaround, and we were happy with it. I think, again, it's really... That kind of comes down to your beer and pretzels versus competitive. If you just play for fun, it doesn't really matter. You can decide it. That's
the tester in me, just going, it doesn't say it anywhere, but you can work it out. So that's not a big problem. The only other thing I had, which was a minor issue for me, was that the bases are a bit weird. Because they're just little see-through bits of plastic that you stick them onto, but there's no... Like in Underworld or in a lot of other GW games and other systems, the bases, they're slotter bases, and quite often they're textured or they're pre-designed or things like that. These are just
flat slabs,
which
I actually quite like them. I know that sounds really weird. I actually do quite like them.
It could just be something I need to get used to.
All the models come pre-formed. There's no assembly, which is great. But you do need super glue. They won't stick on the bases without super glue.
Yeah, it has to,
because they're the wrong type of plastic.
Yeah.
Which is possibly a negative, although they're not that hard to stick on.
I do kind of feel like they could have stuck them on the base, but maybe that would have just been too much for packaging. So that could possibly be a way of them keeping the cost down, because it's, you don't want to spend loads of money for something that doesn't necessarily matter, and that doesn't necessarily matter, so that's not a big issue.
No, I mean, they stuck okay, and it literally takes 5 minutes to do it.
And nearly all of us nerds have some super glue at home, so it's very easy to accomplish. Other than that, I liked the way the scoring works, that it bounces back and forth. The only kind of problem I had is that you nearly always end up around the 0 mark in the whole game.
We did.
But I don't know if anybody else.
As we get better, we'll find it different. But things I really like about the game. I love the exploding sixes.
I was going to say that. Yes, we played a lot of other GW games where you don't get that, and this and Marvel Crisis Protocol. They both have this exploding six.
Although the Marvel Crisis Protocol ones don't explode, but you can rewrite it once. These actually you can keep going, so you get those crazy things, which again I suppose is more beer and pretzels, because it would be maybe too swingy in a competitive game. That said, I think it's a Mantic kind of mechanic. I think from what I've heard, I haven't played it yet, but I think in Dead Zone
they have a similar thing.
thing.
Although I would say that if you're going to compare this to Underworlds, the ability to roll a crit in Underworlds I think makes it more swingy. because you roll a 6,
Yes.
that's like almost a guaranteed win.
Yeah, you're right.
So this,
You're
it's
right.
like, okay, you roll a 6, you get to roll another dice. You've only got a 1 in 6 chance of getting an extra success. I think this mechanic works better, and I for a while now I've thought that the Underworld's crit system is actually a bit too swingy.
I love how it changes slightly depending on what stat you're rolling. So a 6 when you're, I think I mentioned this in the end of the other video, but a 6 on a roll when you're saying you need 3+ is quite a lot more powerful than 6 on something you need 5+, because you've got much more chance of getting it. It makes some of the weaker fighters actually quite difficult to kill. This guy with anything with agility 3 suddenly becomes really difficult to kill. You get 1 to 6 and you're almost certainly going to get a 3 if you didn't get enough last time. So it's an interesting idea, and again I think it just makes it quite fun, because there's actually, I think what I like about it is rolling 6s is really good fun.
Everyone loves rolling a 6.
And so you actually get a proper reward for rolling your 6, whereas in other games you don't necessarily.
Sometimes, well, unless it's Underworld, in which case you kind of feel almost. I didn't mind when you rolled 6s in this game, and then you rolled another 6. That was just fun.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
If we're playing Underworlds and I roll some dice and I get some successes, and then you roll 1 dice and you get a 6, it's like, oh, well, I guess that's, screw me then.
Yeah.
So I prefer this sort of exploding 6 or rolling extra dice system to that I've rolled a 6, therefore I win system.
Yep. Another thing I like, but I haven't tested yet, is I like that there are different game modes.
Yes.
That's quite nice, and there's various ones. I think there's a pass the bomb one, there's like a dodge brawl it's called, and there's a capture the flag.
And there's like a kill one, isn't there?
And that might bring other strengths to the fight. Some fighters might be better than others if in those circles. Like,
I mean, you might find that the spawn actually works better in something
capture
else.
The flag, say maybe you can grab it or
exactly.
Something like that. Yeah. So we rather like Overdrive.
Yes.
I'd definitely play this again, and maybe you'll see it on the channel.
Yeah.
Let us know if you want to see. If you want to see another game mode, I quite fancy capture the flag.
Yeah.
And something saying pass the bomb. Also sounds quite exciting.
And a bomb.
It just feels like it might be fun.
You can really stuff your opponent up with that one. So do like, subscribe, give us a thumbs up if you've enjoyed the content. If you've got any questions about Overdrive, do post them below in the comments and we will answer them as well as we can. If you have any comments about your thoughts on the game as well, do let us know. We would love to hear other Overdrive players out there and what they think of the game.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon on the Age of Sigmar.